And a very good morning. Welcome to everyone joining today, whether you're on Zoom with us or YouTube Live or LinkedIn Live as well. Great to have you here for today's session on your AI strategic roadmap. My name is Matt Kesby. I'll be your guide for today and letting you know that these sessions are on weekly at the moment because we recognize that as you're learning about how to apply AI at work and think about all the different ideas that are possible as we bring more ideas to you each week as well, we want to ensure that there's a space that you can invite others from your organization along to also learn about what you're learning about, because we often look at this as that it's not a solo journey when it comes to applying AI at work. It's actually the whole team that you'll be embracing. And it's much better when you've got a plan and that you're not going at it alone. You've got the support from others around you. Today's session brought to you, of course, from Go Team, the home of AI-powered people, and Multiply Tech, and the session AI Strategic Roadmap. Now, who is it for? This session is absolutely for business leaders. It's not designed for AI and machine learning experts from a technical perspective, but certainly very useful if you're in that space and you're looking at how to further engage the organizations that you're working in to help ensure that the ideas get applied a lot faster and implemented faster in your organizations. What we want for you, what I want for you, is to be prepared when it comes to applying AI at work. It's such a new and evolving space that we need preparation from both a body perspective, that's the skills and taking the actions, as well as the mind, how we're actually viewing AI in order to be able to get the impact. So the mindset that we're going for is using AI at work and becoming an AI-first organization and looking at all the different spaces where there are opportunities to apply AI at work and get started, like get into it, start taking the action. And from there, you'll see more and more opportunities actually awaken in the organization. But to set the scene, first of all, very quickly in the chat, for those that are here on Zoom today, just pop in the chat whereabouts you're joining us from, just the city or the country that you're coming in from. It'd be great to see where everyone is coming from today. Just pop that in the chat. I'd love to acknowledge you. Great to see some returning faces to the session as well. We've got Melbourne and Adelaide and Auckland and Cebu and Brisbane. Warrnambool, I think I saw there a moment ago. Fantastic. Great to have people right around, certainly on this time zone. And we also have a session for our US friends as well. Let me go back one step. Now, things are moving pretty fast, and it's nice to understand where is everyone at the moment. We're just going to launch a poll to see where you're currently sitting in your AI journey. It might be that you're not even using AI yet, and this is like a discovery time for you. Or perhaps you've been using ChatGPT and you're getting into it, but still not quite mastering it yet. Or you're evolved to the next level, which is using AI agents, or perhaps you're using some custom AI tools. I think we could only select one option at the moment, but pick the one which is where you're sort of extending yourself to. Maybe using custom AI tools or using AI phone calls, or you've built some AI technology, or you plan to build something custom for your organization. Put all those ones in. Fantastic. I'm going to share that poll in 3, 2, 1. That's that poll. Fantastic, everyone. Thank you for sharing. We can all be at different stages of our introduction and our usage of AI. And I think no matter where you are today, you're exactly where you're meant to be. You're at that point, and what comes next is where it just becomes even more exciting. So my intention here, I should say, is to actually broaden your minds with what's possible. Worst case scenario is you'll end up with some new ideas and new thinking around how to apply AI at work. You get some inspiration, some ideas on how to actually engage the team around designing your AI strategic roadmap. And then a really, really great one too is that if we can be of service to you and help you along the way in your journey, we would love to do that as well. Okay, so it's moving pretty fast, this AI world, and I'm going to share a few things for some. If it's the first time you've heard it, it may evoke some concern or some doubt or worry or fear. And that might be a natural response. I'm going to encourage you to lean into that. Any moment that you might have fear, just realize that that is because of ambiguity. It's about not knowing what will come next. And of course, none of us can predict the future. What is useful for us is that we lean into it with inquisitive minds. That would be responding based on love versus fear. And, some of the changes are going to be quite radical in organizations in the upcoming months and certainly years. Like what we've seen at Klarna is a classic example of it, where Klarna is a global fintech. They collect and they manage transactions for companies like Nike and Macy's on a global scale. And they've really leaned into AI to the point where they're using AI in their chat, so AI chat response to end users. And they've seen where their AI customer service agents are actually has replaced over 700 workers, humans, in the work that they're doing. Now, it's in that moment where naturally the fear kicks in. And what's interesting is that, yes, some have found that their skill set is obsolete, but others have actually been promoted into a higher level role where strategically they're now managing the AI to help leverage the results. They're actually using the AI as a tool. They've learnt the new tools, have adapted to them, and now are seeing massive productivity gains. We're going to see more of this disruption going forward. And interestingly, it's going to happen faster and faster. And this is why I really want for you to be continuously learning and applying AI so you and your organization don't get left behind with what's coming right now. Now, the speed of change, we often look at this under the principle of Moore's law, where it looks at how compute power is doubling every 2 years. What's happened now, though, with the rapid changes with machine learning and artificial intelligence is that we're seeing a 10x output per year on these compute power and productivity gains as a result. So we're going to see this curve go exponential in a very short period of time. Now, today, team, if you've got any questions along the way, please just pop them into the Q&A section if you're on Zoom. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, place them on there and we will certainly get to them by the end of the session. The team here will take a copy of those questions on LinkedIn or YouTube and send them over to me to ensure they get answered. Back to speaking about change. Earlier this year at the World Economic Forum, the world's leaders got together and the predominant topic was all on AI, no surprise. One statistic that came out was the expectation that we'll see a 40 to 60% disruption of the workforce based on AI. Now, the 60% relates to white-collar jobs in first world countries. And I think that's likely to be possibly even more when we sit here looking at what's happening in AI. We're certainly in our bubble working at the forefront of what's possible with AI. And as a result, we can clearly see that that disruption's going to happen. Right, wrong, good or bad, the reality is that is what will happen. So it is a time for us to start to retool, upskill ourselves, especially around the paradigm that for such a period of time, we've been learning how to lead people. Now we're going to need to learn how to lead people and AI. It won't be an or. It's definitely going to be an and it will be something that will become a standard skill that we all require at work. Now, the reality check moment is it's not AI that will take jobs, but it's AI-powered people that will take out those that do not embrace the AI. And you'll start to see it very rapidly. So if you're in an organization and you're a team member, maybe you're on the front line, now is the time to embrace the AI and start showing others what's possible. If you're leading in an organization, now it's definitely the time to embrace the AI and show others what's possible through the actions that you take so they can feel confident and comfortable as you start to use this new tool set. Now, this dramatic time of change that we're going through right now, it's not really a new thing for us as human beings. In fact, every time we change through an age, we find ourselves retooling. Now, if we have a look at these two images on the screen now, we'll see a couple of farmers, Farmer A and Farmer B. Farmer A has a couple of bullocks and he's pulling the plow along, and that technology there is certainly helping him to progress compared to just using his hands. Farmer B is in a tractor there, and we see the lush green crops. If you were to back Farmer A or Farmer B for production this year and this season, who would you be backing to get the biggest production levels for this particular year? Pop it in the chat. I've got to find where my chat went. A or B, who would you go for? Who would you put your money behind? And we're getting, oh, there's my chat. Fantastic. B, 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 B. It's pretty obvious when you look at it this way. Now, what is fundamentally the difference between these two farmers? Fundamentally, what do you notice as the difference of what they're using? What is different between the two? You could sum it up in a word or two. What would you use? What's the difference between these two? Put it in the chat versus me using mental telepathy to listen to your thoughts. Embracing technology, Nicole's got. David's got scale technology. Max has got the machines. Sherry's got machine. Yeah, you got it. Like these machines that we're using, this embracement of the technology, we could even summarize into a very simple word saying it's the tools that they're using. And when we look at this as, of course, every time there's a change of age, we have a new tool set. It requires a new mindset, skill set, and tool set to get these big breakthroughs. But certainly those that have got the most effective tools that are going to give that scale will be the ones that suddenly achieve a step change in their output. And so it reminds me of a video from Steve Jobs from many years ago, referring to like the ability to achieve these outputs, and a study that was done on different types of animals, and the fact that we as humans, we actually use tools to maximize our results. Hope you enjoyed this one.
I remember reading an article when I was about 12 years old, I think it might have been in Scientific American, where they measured the efficiency of locomotion for all these species on planet Earth. How many kilocalories did they expend to get from point A to point B? And the condor won, came in at the top of the list, surpassed everything else. And humans came in about a third of the way down the list, which was not such a great showing for the crown of creation. And but somebody there had the imagination to test the efficiency of a human riding a bicycle. Human riding a bicycle blew away the condor, all the way off the top of the list. And it made a really big impression on me that we humans are tool builders, and that we can fashion tools that amplify these inherent abilities that we have to spectacular magnitudes. And so for me, a computer has always been a bicycle of the mind, something that takes us far beyond our inherent abilities. And I think we're just at the early stages of this tool. Very early stages, and we've come only a very short distance, and it's still in its formation, but already we've seen enormous changes. I think that's nothing compared to what's coming in the next 100 years.
Nothing compared to what's coming in the next 100 years. I can imagine what Steve Jobs would be thinking right now, seeing the impact of AI and how pervasive it's about to come, and how much this multiplies our results as human beings with really what's possible. The big thing here from a mindset is to understand that AI is a tool. Just like a computer is a tool that we use, we couldn't even imagine doing our work each day without a computer. Soon, we will really see how AI will be the same, and in that it comes down to how we utilize that tool. Now, I like to think about this concept of, well, where are we going to use AI in our organizations? And as a bit of an analogy, imagine that our business is in fact like a garden hose, and that garden hose is connected to a tap, and its job is to take the water from the tap all the way through to, let's say, filling up a bucket or filling up a swimming pool. And every drop of water that comes through is like a customer, a client who's going through their customer journey all the way through to when that cherished water arrives in the bucket is where the value exchange has occurred. That means the the client or customer they've made their payment, they've received their goods or service, and they feel great about the fact that they've made the purchase. Now, we'll see in business, and if anyone's either been a small business that's growing or they've grown their own business, they'll notice that analogy of the garden hose isn't always straight and perfect. It's usually got a few kinks in it. Maybe it's going longer than it needs to. Might be a few holes in it that need fixing. There's certainly going to be processes and procedures and workflows that are going to need to be improved and enhanced in order to ensure that the customer journey runs really well, and that when you turn that tap on and more clients are flowing through, there isn't going to be any challenges. But what we know in business is that business is full of challenges, especially as you grow or scale, that once that pressure is on the systems, things will need to change. Now, I imagine if you've ever seen a garden hose, maybe it's got a couple of leaks in it. You put your finger on it and you could probably hold back the leakage for a little while. But if another one pops up, you've got to deal with that one. And before you know it, you're sort of all over the place fixing these problems and changing. It's very much how business works. Now, I like to think of that is that imagine on that garden hose that along the way, as the client comes in, the first part is marketing, and they move through to sales, and then customer service or product and service delivery, and operations on IT and finance and HR and all the different divisions that you have in an organization. Each of those have their own systems and processes to help the value exchange occur and to help the client move through their customer journey. And that it's at each of these sections that we have the opportunity to apply AI. So keep that picture in your mind, and I'll continue that as we move forward. Here are the 3 sections that we'll cover today. This is our plan of attack. I'm going to cover AI Foundation for business leaders. I'm going to open up your minds to some of the business tools that with AI that you can apply today that will have significant impact in your organizations. I'll also share with you some terminology. I won't go deep on machine learning terminology or white papers. We're going to keep it at a high level of the basics that we need to understand. And then I'll move us into looking at this plan and implement approach for your AI strategic roadmap. I'm going to give you a view of how we do the planning from a department perspective and keep it really simple and in a way that can engage those around you to actually take action. Then we'll have a look at how you can display that visually and make the prioritization of what to focus on first. Then I'll share with you the 4 new AI roles in business and the opportunities for upskilling those roles, because some of these roles just didn't exist 3 years ago. Some of them didn't. One of them didn't exist 12 months ago, and that therefore we need to find ways to either find people with the skills or find those that can help support us to upskill our team members in those roles. All right, let's get into it. But who am I to be sharing this? Well, my name is Matt Kesby. I'm the founder and Chief AI Officer at both GoTeam, which is home of AI-powered people. We supply AI-powered people, over 1,000 people. We supply from the Philippines to clients in the US, Australia, and UK, and other countries that are working full-time for our clients, and really specifically to gain access to the latest AI tools and running those, implementing those in their clients' organizations. And then Multiply Tech, which is our technology company that builds the AI-enabled tool sets, some of which I'll share with you today. Me personally, I've been involved in building software platforms since 2007. We also have a payments company in Australia, a multi-award-winning payments company. It'll do close to $2 billion in transactions this year. It collects the rent for around 38,000 homes in Australia. And I share that with you just to say we've been building technology for quite some time that has high volume and high impact. And throughout all of it, there's these 2 words that we use to help direct us in what we're doing. And it's something I learned from Jim Collins, and it is be useful. We need to be useful in everything that we do, and very specifically around the technology that we deploy within our organization. So it's actually going to help your business to scale and your people to exceed in everything that they're doing. Now, the people side of this in the change area is really critical. And I've seen this, my background as well. I spent close to a decade as the head of strategy execution at Franklin Covey across Australia and New Zealand. You might have heard of Franklin Covey, the Covey part through Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We also rolled out programs like 4 Disciplines of Execution, which is all about helping people to focus and deliver upon goals that require a change in human behavior. And if we think about it, that's like 80% or more of the work that we do is changing behavior in organizations to deliver on goals that we haven't delivered on before. Now, I think that the opportunity now to shift behavior is fascinatingly more powerful than ever before because of the assistance with AI and how we can use AI to really step us forward or take this step change in our results that then opens up room to be able to learn and do more creative things. It's a really powerful time. For this to work, and whether it's change management with AI or any other change, the reality is that people will go through a time of fear and often resist change if they don't understand or can't see what's coming next, or they're not involved or engaged in the process, or they can't see that a leader is actually walking the talk and applying it themselves. And it reminds me of this statement from Gandhi, which we call the Gandhi paradox, which is nothing you do as an individual matters as an individual, but it's vitally important that you do it anyway. In fact, often the impacts we can have as an individual, we may not see immediately the impact that it has, but it's what we do that inspires others to take action. And so it's a really critical role in leadership and change management that we are in there first, utilizing AI, even if you feel like you're tinkering with it initially, but starting to get some pilot programs or mini projects in place and then displaying those back to the organization. We, in fact, in the Go Team business, we celebrate those successes on a monthly basis in our town hall meetings and our what we call our Discover You sessions, where we're sharing the new advancements that people have been trying. We release awards around applying AI, and we also run a quarterly two-day innovation summit with our development team to be able to work on the latest to be able to bring these advancements to all of our clients. Okay, our plan of attack. Let's get into the foundation for business leaders. First stage here is to open up your minds to what's possible. And I'll do that through sharing part of our journey so that I'm speaking from experience. 2020, in the height of COVID, everyone's working from home. We had a challenge where team members were working from home and our clients were saying, is our data safe? Do we know that what is being seen on the screen is only for the eyes of the team members? And our answer at first was, well, no, there's no way for us to control that. We can't do that. But we said, let's fall in love with the problem rather than the solution. Let's understand that that is a real problem, especially if you've got personal identifiable information, all of us that we're working with, certainly if you've got a CRM, or maybe you're in a more extreme area with things like payment card industry standards, or you've got medical records that you're dealing with, highly sensitive data. In a world where social engineering is real, and that's where someone could befriend you and start to have a conversation about what's on the screen and they can see what's there, there's a real risk of data being leaked. Now, at that point in time, if we're working in the office, there can be oversight and controls, but many people are working remotely. And so this is where AI can be utilized to help support us. We actually built a tool called Visual Access AI, where we deploy a vision model that can see onto each laptop, and it can check twice per second, actually, if the person sitting behind the screen is the authorized user. And if it's not, it'll throw up a lock screen. Here's a little quick example of this one.
We will see that it's actually checking consistently that it is in fact me, and I've been authorized via our organization to continue working.
And so the identity gets validated, and if I'm not validated, it will throw up a lock screen and notify our security team. That gives a lot of confidence to the organization, knowing that the data will remain safe. The data, depends whether I'm Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere, or Australia versus US. And what it's also doing is giving confidence to the team members as well, knowing that their data will always be safe. So what's also important on this one is how we manage the privacy of an individual. So this is not sending some sort of stream of what's happening in the person's world back to a server. It's actually handling it all locally on a machine. So very, very important aspect. Now, that was a real first step for us into AI, and probably a more advanced step because we're building the technology. But what gets us the most excited right now is how we can use AI to really leverage the results or the goals that people have in their teams. And there's no doubt that ChatGPT really opened up all of our minds to what's possible. Now, the artificial intelligence has actually been around for a while. It's really just increased its utility, its usefulness, when the interface of the chat was added to the large language model of ChatGPT. And with this, we start to see that AI has really become democratized. Everyone can access ChatGPT, even at a basic level, for free now, before you move on to paying for that utility and getting the maximum results from it. There's a wonderful statement which I believe will become very true very quickly, and that is that AI will be as required as electricity to run businesses. In fact, imagine for a moment, or you might have had it recently, where the power goes off and all of a sudden computers and internet are no longer available. Our businesses, most of ours, come to a halt. I mean, at least if you're online today, I'm guaranteed that your business will come to quite a standstill without electricity. We will see shortly just how AI has a similar impact. In fact, we've already seen it at GoTeam with our AI-powered people. We gave everyone ChatGPT on their desktops in March last year so that they can have the benefit of great tools, both chat and also prompt templates to help them in the work that they're doing. If OpenAI has an outage on the API that connects to this, that's the application program interface, we very quickly hear from our team that the AI is down. So we're already seeing that it becomes as dependent as electricity because it enhances people's results at such a high level. Now, very quickly in the chat, do you, in sales in your organization, are you B2B or B2C? Just pop that in the chat for me. B2B or B2C? Business to business or business to customer? How is your sales process? David's got B2C. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, David. Bit of both for some, B2B, B2B. Now, whenever we've got salespeople, often one of the biggest challenges I've seen when working, consulting in organizations to help them ramp up is that salespeople need experience in that product. They need to feel confident about what they're selling, understand all the objections and the features and benefits and so forth. And that experience comes to life, that knowledge comes to life through experience. We can have content and, rote learn it, but it's not until we have the context of the situation that the learning really improves. And so where can AI help us to actually assist the salesperson to ramp up? Well, in May last year, we ran a bit of an experiment with our dev teams. We took a small dev team. We actually sent them away to Bali for a month, and we gave them a internal hackathon and said, right, we want to be able to ramp up salespeople faster. What if a salesperson could role play against an AI avatar on their sales presentation, handle objections and so forth, and then at the end of that practice, that role play, the AI would turn into a coach and coach the individual on 6 key factors of sales. There was a bit of a what if this was possible for us. Here's what our team built. Check this out. I'll share a portion of my interaction. Hi there, Alex. It's Matt from Real Play. Thanks for taking my call today. Just checking, we've got about 10 minutes together on this call.
That's an interesting question. Hi, Matt. It's great to meet you. It's nice to have this time to understand the potential of Real Play and how it could positively impact the way we do business.
Now, what's fascinating is the AI, every time we interact with it, is slightly different. And so the role play is very real for a salesperson. Where the benefit comes is that at the end, we get the individual gets coached on 6 key factors of sales. These are my real results in May last year on my first run, which was what that video was. And I got to tell you, I wasn't too happy about only seeing 1 green in there. And this is where we have this statement: practice in private, win in public. And for a salesperson, this really benefits them because there's often a lot of ego at play when it comes to things like role plays, or people struggle to get the time together or struggle to get the feedback with their leader and get the diagnosis of it. So powerful tool. We then took our learnings from here and moved it over to solving a new problem, because the foundational building blocks are very similar with AI that allows us to move those around. And I say the foundational building blocks, and I'll share some of those definitions shortly so that it can open your mind to what's possible. In our people business, Go Team, home of AI-powered people, over 1,000 team members. And interestingly, that brand has between 1,000 to 3,000 people every single week applying to come and join the brand. And with that, there's a challenge. It's a lot of people to interview. And it's very easy to miss great talent because of the bias that occurs in the interview process. One of the biases is actually time constraints, that we're often feeling so busy that we don't have time to interview people effectively or analyze them or compare them in an objective way. And so we brought together the power of AI to actually impact that. Now today, AI writes the position job descriptions, it writes the questions to be asked in an interview, it even writes the answers, poor, good, and excellent, so that there's a basis for the comparison on how people respond. It actually posts the ads online, it runs the interview via video, and even does the post assessment as well. Let's have a look at this one, because it's helped us to go from on average 45 days to place some roles down to as fast as 5 and 3 days. It gives a beautiful output of the analysis so that we, as the humans, can review who will qualify to go through to the human-to-human interview. Here's a video of it playing at speed. So it writes the position description, it automatically writes the questions as well as different answers, posts the job ad online, runs the interview, and then here's the output.
How do you ensure that your product vision aligns with the overall business objectives and goals?
I love this question. This is one of the key things a product director must learn to do.
Now, each of those questions can be changed and the answers get transcribed and an assessment is done. There's even where the applicant excelled and room for improvement. There's overall AI performance scores, including qualifications, behaviours, psychometric testing, even international English language test standards are revealed of what's possible. This is the power of AI today. This now allows a recruiter or a hiring manager to give everyone an interview. And fascinatingly, like the cost of running an interview comes down to around 8 cents to run an interview. So it's powerful with what's possible. The other thing that we've found lately too, that what's possible, is this concept of an AI agent. Now, if you haven't heard of an AI agent before, that's okay. It's new terminology. An AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. Previously, this was the realm of software developers to create these AI agents, and underpinning all of our AI tools essentially are AI agents doing the work. Now we've brought it to the forefront with a no-code AI agent building tool that everyone can use in their roles to build out agents. Here's a video of it. It looks a little bit like ChatGPT, but the difference is there's these AI agents that you can create that are specialists in the work that they do. You can also take those AI agents and join them together as a team in a swarm to create workflows of activities that the agents can do. And you can connect them to external software as a service, SaaS products. And here's an example of just asking the AI agent to create a article in marketing for lead generation with the latest information from the internet. The main AI goes off and brings together the other AI agents to execute the task. And in this example, it's done about 3 hours of research. In the video, 47 seconds. It's now about 17 seconds. It's getting faster. Writes a headline, the article, acquires some images from the internet, writes email copy about the article, and then writes Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn post copy. So that the marketing department takes about 6 to 8 hours of work and reduces it down into minutes of activity. That is what we'd love to see right throughout every department in an organization, is where we're starting to actually leverage the results to the point where hours of work are being done in seconds or minutes to then either do one of two things: multiply up the volume that's happening, Or the other one is have more creative time to work on tasks that previously you desired to, but were not able to get to because of resource limitations or time limitations before. The other very powerful thing about AI agents is it removes procrastination because it allows people to kind of get that first big jump on a particular task and move forward. Now, another way to look at AI is to build out custom tools for your organization. At GoTeam, we have a play which is about helping organizations to put more than $2 million on their bottom line in the first 2 years we're working with GoTeam. And we do that through a strategic workforce planning approach, looking at how to have team members offshore that are empowered with AI, powered by AI, that deliver a 60 to 70% saving on salaries, but then uplift on results delivery. This particular planning tool works like a Kanban. The AI brainstorms out the types of roles that are possible based on the client's industry, and it even writes position descriptions and goals, and shortly we'll be suggesting the AI tools for each team member to use as well. Now, continuing on expanding our mind on what's possible, voice is now a big part of AI. And so with voice being a capability with AI, it also means that we now move into doing things like phone calls. We can have AI, and we'll be releasing our product coming in August. There's some trialing it right now and you'll be able to use AI for things like appointment setting, support calls, accounts receivable like debt collection, perhaps even things like new employee onboarding to make sure everyone's got a way to receive a phone call and learn about the organization. I've actually got a little test run video here. It's a longer call. I've just taken the front and the end of it, but here's a bit of an example of an AI phone call.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hi, Thomas. This is Matt from GoTeam. I noticed that you've recently applied for a position. I wanted to reach out and discuss the next steps in the hiring process. Are you available to chat for a few minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
Once you complete your profile and go through the AI interview, we'll be able to assess your fit for the role more accurately. If you have any more questions or need assistance at any point, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, and I look forward to the
before you go, quick question. What's the office address?
Of course, Thomas. Our office address is 9th floor, I-1 building, Ozima. Del Mar IT Park, Apas, Cebu City, Philippines. If you need further directions or have any other inquiries, please don't hesitate to ask.
Great, thank you.
Now, this is becoming really powerful, two-way interaction on voice. And what becomes even more powerful is that you can ground the AI in the data, the information of your organization. You can even have it do things like book appointments into calendars for salespeople or support team members. Essentially, you can have the AI call a function on another system and take action. This is the power of AI agents. Another example here is AI live chat. And so AI live chat for support and sales, we'll be actually releasing ours in August and September this year. And so with that, imagine 24/7 live chat support where the majority of the requests are being handled by AI, and that you can always move it over to a human, so transition over to a human in the loop experience, but the first response has been taken care of AI. We're testing that right now. We'll be releasing it as a shared August and September. The other area that we love to see is that every team member has their own AI agent as their assistant at work. We actually have our Multiply Tech app here with docs on the side of the screen, wherever you like to put it. And you can even dock a AI agent that's specific around your particular role. So here I've got one for human resources advisor. I can ask any question in relation to human resources for my particular organization because it's grounded or connected to the knowledge of our organization. Today, this is a chat experience, but coming very soon, it'll be a full two-way conversation to be there as a helpful assistant throughout the entire day. This is just a little bit of a mock-up of what you can expect to see this year.
Hey, Raya, who were the last 3 customers that purchased from us?
Hey, Matt. The last 3 customers were Jacob Winters, Heavenly Architecture, Sarah Allen of Oak Ridge Outdoors, Robert Masters, Better Built Homes.
Thanks, Rab. How much did Better Built Homes spend and how did they hear about us?
Hey Matt, Better Built Homes spent $7,000. This is their first purchase and were referred by Randy Richard by Jacob Winters from Heavenly Architecture. Would you like me to draft a thank you email to Jacob?
Yeah, notice that how often or how frequently do you ask a question inside your organization for specific data? And if there isn't a report to generate it, you need to dig down into a system. Maybe it's a CRM, the accounting system that needs access to. And in doing so, it can take some time. The power of AI is to be able to go in through just pure natural language, go in, make an assessment, draw the information out and present it to you. All of that's possible in chat, and therefore voice is the next frontier where this will be a conversation. Also, you might have noticed there where an AI could then make a suggestion of the next task and then go off and execute that task as well. All of this will, and sometimes it might seem like science fiction, it'll be science fact in the very near future for us. Now, here's a question, a little bit of a poll for everyone. Out of what you've seen and some additional ideas as well, which of these do you see adding the most value in your organization? I think you can only select one. So let's launch this poll. Is it around having AI to support marketing? Is it AI tools to support sales? Is it AI agents to support all roles? Could it be AI for interviewing job applications? Can we launch the poll, please? Thanks, nice. For job applications, is it AI to bring focus and improve productivity? Personalized AI assistants, 24/7 AI chat, phone call agents, or AI for data security. In fact, for some reason, it seems like our poll is not launching. So pop the number in the chat that stands out for you the most. Where would you like to see? If you could wave the magic wand and have impact on one of these organizations, what stands out for you? It's got AI assistant through. Here's the poll now. There we go. Or we can just use the chat as well. It's fine, whichever suits you best. But thinking about, where would you like to see that happening? Because you can see that there'd be a big impact for your organization. This will start to help you as you do your strategic planning bit next. All right, fantastic. Some answers in the chat and some on the poll. Great work, everybody. I'll close that poll out. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see where we're going. And we'll share those results so we can all have a look. So, yeah, and not surprisingly, we're going to see quite a spread because we're all at different stages in our organizations, different goals that we're focusing on. And that's an important part to be thinking about the goals that we're focusing on because it will really drive where you go with your strategy. Now, here's some of the terminology or the building blocks that are going to help you out here. AI is artificial intelligence, which is a simulation of human intelligence. And ultimately, we're using it there to help us perform tasks that humans would do. Machine learning is a subset, or ML for short, is a subset of AI. And actually, I'm going to address a question. David's got a good one. How does AI support segregation of duties and sharing within privacy constraints within the company? Does the company-based data define what roles are entitled to what information? It's a really critical one, and it's very worthy of having the planning first to get this right. It's easy to make an error on this one. And, when we build trust, there's 13 behaviors that build trust. One of those is to create transparency, but too much transparency too soon actually breaks trust, and therefore things like privacy and data leakage. Now, in the structure, as you set up your AI, having one agent that oversees everything can be quite difficult because unlike a database, once we start dealing with AI, it's a model that's being utilized. So it's not actually a database. And then you're using your corporate data, and these two need to interact together. So there needs to be some control points. Now, in software development, we'll use something called role-based access controls. So based on the person's role, we'll base their access to certain data based on their role. So if we think about it the same way with AI, in that having an AI agent that has access to certain data. It's got that AI agent's got a role, and we're going to base its access on its level. And then that AI agent being accessible to a team member with a matching role, all of a sudden now we can achieve the segregation of data access. So it comes to a design component. And you'll hear at the end of the session, we've got a Chief AI Officer Bootcamp program. We cover that specific area in detail in our bootcamp because it is such an important part of the design of the data. Great question. Thanks, David. So continuing on with this foundational terms, model. You just heard me use model again. Model refers to the representation of a system or process or concept using algorithms and data, allowing the system to make predictions, decisions, perform tasks, and learn more as it goes. Large language models, we're using those now with ChatGPT. That's an example of a large language model. ChatGPT is essentially the chat interface with the large language models or versions of them, depending on which one you choose, from OpenAI. And it's really is what has opened the world to thinking about AI. AI agents, we've seen a look at one of those already there. An AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. It's not going to do all of it, but certainly going to help out. There's a concept here, perhaps the most technical I'll share, which is retrieval augmented generation. Retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. That's critical for businesses to be able to move beyond the language model and access their organizational data and blend the two together. So it's actually an approach in AI where we're retrieving organizational data, and the response that we give out is being augmented by generative AI. So it's bringing out useful and accurate information, and we can access it via just natural language versus needing to code up complex queries and be dependent upon our development teams. Human in the loop, this is where as humans we are controlling the AI, where we've got a role to play in the process. Human in the loop is very much going to be our standard for quite a period of time as we are working with the AI to get the results that we're after. Now, some of the building blocks, though, then are things like speech to text. Where we can speak, and we might see this with dictation is one area, but another one is or transcription. But another important fundamental is that we speak at 140 words per minute, but we generally type at only 40 words per minute. And so it's going to be a lot faster for us to speak than to type as we interact with AI. Now, AI needs to convert it into text so that it can then convert it again, actually, but it works with the text to be able to then make its assessment, make its responses. Text to text, well, we're quite used to doing that with ChatGPT style interface. And then there's text to speech. So we're going to take the output from the AI and convert it into speech so that we can listen to it and get a much faster interactions. Text and data analysis, well, you've seen a bit of that like in the interview room example earlier, where there's beautiful analysis that comes out in the reporting. Analysis is also occurring based on the questions that you ask. Corporate data access, powerful one. We're going to use retrieval augmented generation to access that, and how you structure your data becomes really important. In fact, most of us will find that our data is not necessarily set up that well to be able to handle AI just yet, but it will be in some areas of the business. So don't wait until all of your data is presented and accessible the way you want it to. Get started and then start to iterate off that. Specifically trained models. So like when you use the large language models of ChatGPT, they're trained on the world's data, but you may find in some organizations you want specifically trained models. Now, that's where moving beyond retrieval augmented generation, you can take your data, put it into the model. Imagine like it's going in the washing machine, it's been twirled around, and when it comes out, you've got your beautiful clean clothes. It becomes more useful. Now, there are over 750,000 open source AI models available out there for free on the market. It does take a bit of effort to put them together and utilize them in organizations, but we are going to see more and more use cases or uses of open source models inside businesses that are not open to the world, to ensure you've got additional privacy and also specialization or differentiation in the way that you use AI. Another key item here is actions, or technically function calling. This is where you can interact with the AI and it's going to write a piece of code to communicate to another system and to call a function on that other system to get another result to come out, or for action to be taken place. And then vision's actually going to become a really big one for us. I think by 2025 we'll be using a lot of vision in the work that we're doing. Okay, let's get into the plan and implement and the AI strategic roadmap. The starting point for this one is to actually think about what are the goals and core challenges in each of the departments or divisions within your organization. Keep in mind that analogy of the garden hose running across the top here, and that there might be a few leaks that need to be plugged. That's a good space to be considering what are the core challenges. It's a lot easier though if you anchor on what's the main goal or main metric for that particular department, and look to see how you use AI to actually support the delivery upon that goal. That helps to justify the business case of putting the investment and the effort in. And it also shows the win at the I won't say the end of the implementation, but during the implementation, you can see the needle moving on those core goals. That will actually help get higher adoption. And adoption of AI usage, because this is a change process, is really paramount to making it work in your organization. Now, and how you do this is quite simply have a brainstorming session with your team members. Start out with a few key people that were really interested in this, do a little pilot in one particular section of the business before then rolling it out to all of them. But really do engage people in a brainstorming process. There's a few rules to make brainstorming really effective, and we cover all of that in our Chief AI Officer course, but a couple of key ones. No bad ideas. Every idea is to be accepted up before you put a assessment through it. Stand up when you're doing your brainstorming, very powerful. And put a time limit on it as well. There's a few more, but there's a few to get you started. It's amazing what you can actually get achieved in 7 to 11 minutes in a brainstorming session. Once you get to there, you then look at those ideas and say, hey, is there a product or tool or something we might like to build that will help support that? And then you start to create a bit of a map of all the different opportunities within each department. That will give you a big long list, but from there prioritization becomes important. And we see that this model will help you with how to prioritize. It's a graphic representation of that work that you've just done, where we start to plot it on this matrix. We look at on one side, one aspect here is business value. What's the value to the business in either dollars or differentiation? And then what's the ease impact? Is it going to be quick and fast to implement, or is it going to take a number of years to get there? Then you can start plotting these different initiatives in these quadrants. So for example, is it good value? Therefore, we should start today. Is it high value? Do it now. There's big impact. Is it high value, but it's going to take a bit longer in time? Let's do that later. Or is it low in value and take time? Well, we should probably not get romanced by something bright and shiny. Now, as you put up each of these different ideas, you can then code them into, are they revenue generating? Are they customer centric? Are they cost reduction? Are they product development? Or is it something other? And then put a line around them. If you're going to buy it, put a full line. If you're going to build it, put a dotted line. And then what's your data readiness like at the moment? Is it ready now? Is it close? Meaning it might take you a year to sort out that data access, or is it not close at all? It's in the future. Now, by plotting these out, this is actually for GoTeam strategic roadmap. And so it starts to look at in the analysis of saying, where are these opportunities? Where will we plot them? So that we can take a step back, realize where it's at, share that with the organization, and prioritize the budgeting and of both financial and time of where to play the game. Now, I would recommend that you come back and revisit this process at the moment every 3 months because of the speed of change that's happening in organizations. Now, there's a few questions that are useful to answer here so that when you're looking at where things will be plotted, these 9 key questions for all of us to be asking are things like, the business area. Is it customer, revenue, profit, product, or other? That's going to give you the structure here of the shape to apply to it. Consider today versus tomorrow. What's the process today versus tomorrow? What would we like it to be in the future? One tip here is to actually process map it out, have a look for where the bottlenecks are, and say, hey, where could we remove some of those steps in the process by applying AI or increasing speed or quality? What's the financial impact of the change? Now, this is where you start to build the business case. Also, what's the cost of the change? Because we'll need to put time and effort or sometimes buy a tool to do that. And so what will that cost be? So you can have a look at the offsets. What are the risks of not changing? That's a big one. Is it low, medium, high, or extreme? How complex is the change and the adoption process within the organization? Does the business case at this point stack up? If it is yes, then do a final check and say, hey, where's the data at this point in time? Is it available? And if it's now or close, then we're starting to build a case to actually take the action. Now, that's important to slow down. Otherwise, there's thousands of tools coming out at the moment. We've got to make the assessment of what is really useful for an organization, not just putting it in for the sake of trying something, but being more strategic in our thinking. Remember the garden hose analogy. Remember to keep looking back at where are those opportunities in the organization to help you with your focus. Now, once you've got that focus, then it's time to implement, and having an implementation plan is extremely helpful. We follow the process of discover, design, deploy, educate, execute, and evaluate. You can do these in mini 1-week sprints or 2-week sprints, or if it's a bigger implementation, often over 90 days as well. Remember though, although I use the word sprint, it's an agile terminology, this is a marathon, not a sprint, because of all the different areas that you'll be applying this inside your organization and continuously changing as well. Now, I really love this analogy, or this proverb, if you will. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is very much a team sport, and the teams have changed from what they were 3 years ago to what they are now due to the way that we can access AI. In fact, there's 4 new roles that I recommend for all organizations. One is the Chief AI Officer. Doesn't need to be someone with a machine learning background or a degree in AI. It does need to be someone who is interested in the technology, is interested in seeing process improvement, is interested in seeing people winning at work. They're the individual, often in the early stage, they're going to be dual hats. They've got a current role, plus they're the Chief AI Officer, until the organization gets to a size where that is a full-time role. Also, an AI implementation engineer. This is someone with more technical background that's going to be able to connect systems together via APIs. They're going to be able to help resolve data, storage locations, and so forth. The next one is a flow engineer. This is someone who is using AI on a daily basis with the AI agents, setting up the automations and workflows and helping others to do the same. But I also believe that this is a new skill for everyone to have, at least at a level 1 certification around being a flow engineer and utilizing AI agents on a daily basis. And the 4th role is an AI implementation consultant, someone who's going to help ensure strategically that the direction that's happening here in the organization is aligned to your business goals and sharing insights and different ways of doing these things. Quick poll. Which of the following roles do you see supporting your business in the future? Once again, I think it's a single choice. So pick out which of these roles. You might even just put a number in the chat to save time. Here it is. Polls are live. Which one of these do you think would have the biggest impact in your organization right now? We're down to like a minute to go, so we'll need to be pretty quick. Which one of these do you think would have the biggest impact right now? You might be saying all 4 or 2 or 3. But we're certainly seeing, I'm going to end the poll so we can move fast. We're seeing flow engineers, implementation consultants, AI engineers, and you're probably just wanting to actually pick a few if you're like me in those polls. So there we go. There's where we're all at. If you'd like to have some assistance on having team members that are AI powered, we'd certainly love to help you out over at GoTeam. If you'd like to learn more about how that works, we'll drop the link in the chat, or you can take a quick screenshot over at GoTeam. We can book a call with one of our experts to help you expand your global team. If you'd like to do the upskilling with your team members in your organization, There's a couple of options that we're supporting with today. One is no cost training at all. Of course, there's this session, but then flow engineering. It happens every Friday on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Zoom. And these are the Flow Fridays, which is all about flow engineering. You can work side by side with me, building out AI agent workflows, and learn more about AI agents happening every Friday. Check it out there. Also on YouTube at AI Powered People, you'll see all the replays as well as the live sessions as well. And then upskilling goes into the Chief AI Officer role. Now, if you've been on a session before, you might have heard me say that we're kicking this off in August, and it's still on my screen as August, but it's going to be September. We have a few client deliverables at the moment. The new Chief AI Officer 90-day bootcamp will kick off in September. It is by application. It is a small group of sessions. The way we'll be doing this, a couple of other tweaks, we'll be doing a 2-hour hands-on live workshop every second week, and then every other week it's a implementation support calls for the group. We'll be covering setting up AI agents for every team member in your organization, setting up things like live phone calls, setting up live chat for AI for your organization, and setting up your interviews, setting up the how to set the metrics in organizations, how to make this work within your organization as a Chief AI Officer. I'm going to tool you right up with a skill set, mindset, and tool set to be able to apply AI at work in your organizations. There's a lot. It's a huge amount. We'll record everything. You'll have access to it afterwards. And during the 90 days, you'll have access to all of our tools as well. If you like the idea, if you'd like to learn more about that, please email me, Matt@Multiply Tech, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. I'd love to share more about that with you. And I'll close out with our final statement for today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast and far, then go with Go Team and Multiply Tech. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be on the same time next week. If you've got someone in your organization that will benefit from learning about AI some more and considering your AI strategic roadmap, invite them along so they can see it firsthand, and then you can have a conversation about where to next with AI in your organizations. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here and a little bit over time as well. Looking forward to seeing you online again soon. Bye for now.